Welcome you for the data science course, the lecture 5. It aims on how to create an array and its attributes and array objects. So what is an array? Array is nothing but an ordered collection of data elements and it will be referenced from its index position. Now array, so it is also having the indexing similar to list and it starts with a zero based indexing. What is the use of NumPy array? So it is used for storing the numerical data, or it could be a vectors or matrices. So with large number of inbuilt functions. So usually NumPy array is officially called as ND array or array. So how to use the command? Import NumPy as NP. So this array, you can create it either from the list, either using the numpy function, or you can go in for library functions. Now first command to start with, import numpy as np. Array equal to a variable is given np dot a range of 20. When you give a command called a range, so it just prints a single dimensional array which consists of 20 elements from 0 to 19 as the output. So creating the arrays, in which the array could be a 0-dimensional array or a 1-dimensional, 2-dimensional or a 3-dimensional array. So this diagram just depicts that. So initially it is a 4 cross 1 matrix. So the row alone is specified. Whereas here the row is 2, column is 3. So it gives the shape as 2, 3. Whereas in this, whenever you are going to consider, so you will be calling in the 3D array as a slice, row and column. So it has 4 slice and 3 rows and it has 4 columns. It has 2 columns. It has 4 slice, 3 rows and 2 columns. Moving on to the numpy functions. So initially an example has been given. Import numpy as np. Array is equal to, what is the syntax we have to use? np dot array. In the previous condition, what is the syntax we have used? np dot a range. That was the first command to create a single dimensional matrix. So now in this numpy function, the next command what you are learning is np dot array. When I give that value, it prints a 0D array value. Moving on to a 1D array, whereas here it just uses, so it just numpy uses np dot array. When I give a single dimensional array, it prints the value. Similarly, whenever I am going to print a 2-dimensional array, if I give the inputs accordingly, it will be printing a 2-dimensional array. And similarly for a 3D array, depending upon a multi-dimensional array is given, then it would be printed. So you should remember the commands. So far we have learned 2 commands, np.arange and np.array, for creating the arrays. Now the next thing is your array attributes. What is array attributes? So it provides the information about the shape, size or data type, dimensions and so on. So when you say the command as ndim, so it returns the dimension of the array. When you say it as a size, it returns the number of elements in the array. Suppose if I am giving the element size as 1, 2, 3, it returns the size as 3. Next is a data type. It just returns the data type, whether it is an integer or a float. Shape. It just returns the shape of the array. It just returns the size of the array in each dimension. The next thing is your item size. So it returns the size in bytes, whether it is going to be a 4 bytes or 8 bytes of each element in the array. So what are the 5 commands now we are studying? ndim, size, data type, shape and item size. Now we'll just see an example. Import numpy as np. What is the command we have to use? np.array, and we are giving a single dimensional array. So it gives a dimension. It is a single dimension. So output is 1. Okay, what is the command we are giving? Array dot, that is arr dot ndim. The next thing is for the size, to depict the size of an array. The command uses arr.size. So the same command I have used, I have just changed this as arr.size. So it just gives a number of elements in the array. So it prints the output as 3. Now we move on to your shape. So what is the command? Instead in the same command, I am just changing the command as shape. So it just gives 3 rows, 1 column. So it gives the number as 3. Now we move on to your data type. So the command here alone, I am changing it as dtype. So if you are not going to specifically specify whether it is int32 or int64, it default takes the output to be int64. Now the next thing is item size. It just returns the size in terms of 4 bytes or 8 bytes. So now to distinguish that, I've just given the same command I've taken, but I've specified as array1 and array2, in which array1 I have not specified the data type, and in the array2 I have specified the data type. So whenever I'm going to specify the data type, it just shows the output as, for the initial thing, it takes as 8 bytes, which is not specified as default. It is default value it takes. And the next thing, when I've given int32, it just gives the data output that the data is taken in terms of 4 bytes.